Hey everybody, Nev here, and I was just in a neighborhood looking around and came across the sign that says for sale. So I decided to do, well, what every investor does, and if you're anything like me, you likely have done this as well. Went on Zillow, took a look, realized it's foreclosure. So right now I want to share with you what I have found out and how I quickly evaluate whether something even makes sense for me to move forward or not. Let's take a look. Pay attention to the windows. All right, I'm going to point them out. You will see that basically the basement or the foundation is solid rock, and I'm actually walking on somebody's property, but hopefully that's okay. That back there can be taken down. That's easy. You will see siding is perfectly fine, but the windows need to be replaced. When you're on the ground, you want to look for things like this. This right here is actually part of the shingle, and you will see that the roof is in a need of complete replacement. There's definitely deferred maintenance when you look at the stairs and look at the front, so a bit of a paint job. Typically when you look at something like this, you can assume that the inside is in not as great of a shape either. But the good news is that everything is fixable. The question always becomes of how much money will it cost to fix it, and does it make financial sense? So that's a big get a key thing to sort of pay attention. So here's that little shed thing that we talked about right over there, that I said that you could just tear that down. So that's an easy tear down thing. We looked at the outside of kind of what was happening, and I wanted to showcase to you what's happening on the inside. So this is what the Zillow is, and you get to see the price right here. You'll see that it's a 7-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I don't know why you need 1 bathroom for 7 bedrooms. So there's a little bit of work that needs to be done, but I was semi-wrong in what I was explaining to you. So you will see the pictures like this. When you're evaluating stuff online, sometimes it's a bit harder to see, but you can do something pretty cool. Let me see if I can move my face. Sometimes you're able to, you can't do it on the screen, but right here, see, when they take photos, they do a really good job of taking photos that you're not seeing some of the stuff that we saw in the video. But you can see right over here where there's the board that is missing. Let's see if we can find other things, right? So here's the porch. You can see that the paint is peeling, right? So that needs to be refinished. But that's not, that's not a horrible thing. Oh no, why did we exit? Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's scroll quickly. Okay, so here we go. We're on the inside, and it doesn't look too bad on the first look. But remember, I told you when you go through, when you see the building on the outside, that there are some challenges. Typically, you also see some challenges on the inside as well. That's very common, right? And so rough inside, rough outside. Sometimes things are diamonds in the rough, and sometimes they're just rough. So this one is actually not bad, but you will see right here where my mouse is that there's a little bit of peeling paint. There's some issues right here with the ceiling, so maybe there was some leak. So you will see that there's some work, but there's beautiful flooring. I mean, these beams are gorgeous. Take a look over here. I want to go back right here on the corner. They took a photo specifically in such a way in a corner that you can't see stuff, but you will see that there's something over here that's missing. I don't know if we'll be able to see it from the photos. See, they took a photo again where you can't really see it. And now you can actually see it right here. Pay attention, guys. So there's a door, and it's beautiful. I mean, you can see that there's some great historic charms, but there's definitely damage happening. It looks like it's steam heat. This flooring can be easily fixed. My biggest concern is it's not even the paint and patch that's easy. It's what caused this, right? And it's typically going to be water damage. So water damage, water intrusion can be very, very scary. So you're going to have to learn and do your due diligence. This is the part when they talk about the due diligence. You really want to go out and explore this stuff, go through it, walk through it, turn all of your senses on that you can. Now, if you're doing this sort of buying thing online, which I have done multiple times, even for my personal residence, so you can't, like, I can't go and touch it, I can't go and smell it, But I can get the realtor to go through it. I can take photos and really pay attention to stuff. So you'll see damage over here. There's some damage over here that is also happening. Again, look at this. I mean, it's melted, right? So there's definitely, this looks like water damage to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. You will see that there's stuff over here as well. So see that what you see down on the floor, it looks like just more of the plaster and more of the paint stuff that has fallen down. So it's just really a dust more than anything else. Okay, let's take photos. I mean, it's old stuff, but this is beautiful to me. Like the old period stuff is really, really cool. So a little bit of refurbishing and refinishing would make this house absolutely amazing. Um, this is just fantastic. So you will see that the rest of the place actually looks pretty okay. Clearly they painted around some sort of carpet or something, so that's kind of interesting. The bathroom, again, there's work to be done. You can, but that's relatively speaking easy to fix. So you are looking at definitely having to do some work. Here's that shed that I was saying that's an easy tear down. You know, you will see that the rest of it looks pretty okay. It's a, you know, a little bit of cleanup. Here's the roof. Here's what I was going to show you guys. That wasn't very easy to see on my camera, but you can see very clearly that the roof needs to be replaced. This roof roughly will cost about, I would say, 10 to 15,000 to replace. The windows, we can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 windows over here. So we can assume that there's probably 8 on the other side. If I remember correctly, there was about, so that's what? So it's going to be about 20, 25 windows. You can count on about $800 per window for the replacement as when it comes to the cost when you're thinking of doing this stuff. Probably the most expensive work is going to be figuring out where that leak came from and fixing that. And then repairing that stuff. Refurbishing is not going to be a whole lot. Painting is not going to be a whole lot. And then the kitchen and the bathroom are actually probably going to be the most expensive of the things. The other side that I didn't point out in the video, but I want to point it out right now, is you will see right here where the mouse is, right here as well. These are windows from the basement. Now let's see, maybe we'll get lucky and actually get the photos from the basement. But given that I'm seeing outside one too many photos, I'm going to say that's not going to happen. All right, cool, no problem. So that's kind of where it gives us an information of what we can find. Let me move my face over here so you can see it. This gives you some information over here. Now, please keep in mind that when we look at foreclosure estimates and the values and that kind of stuff, don't rely solely on Zillow. They're doing an okay job, but it's not very accurate. What I like about Zillow is that you can find some inside photos. What I like about it is that it gives you the year built and it gives you some information and data. Sometimes if it has been rented in the past, it will give you some of that information. You might be able to find out some of see, they're trying to do home values. It's not like that accurate, but it will give you historical piece of like when it sold. So you can see right here that it sold in 2016 for $170,000. Now it's listed in you know, at the end of 2019 for 295. So of course it has appreciated, which we all know that because, you know, the market tanked in '07 and sort of has been climbing on up. So, you know, no surprises here whatsoever. The cool piece that it gives you is also some of the taxes of what it looks like. You will see that the assessed value is at 239. So the bank might be able to go a little bit lower. It just really depends. The bank foreclosures are really interesting. Oh, hi, Charles. The bank foreclosures are really interesting because sometimes the bank will just try to sell it for the amount that it's owed. But when the market is healthy and there's not a whole lot of foreclosures, banks are pretty smart and they say, well, yeah, I would like to ultimately sell it for minimum of what is being owed. But what I really want is, can I get even more money? And so
you will see that as well, that sometimes they will raise the price up. You will see something very interesting with the tax history if you pay attention right here, guys, the highlighted portion. So 2017, the assessed value was under $190,000. In 2018, it's $240,000. Now, the market overall in Rhode Island, this is Cranston, Rhode Island, did not appreciate that much. I can assure you of that. What has happened is that they have reconfigured some of the assessment. Sometimes the assessors don't really always go through and don't always catch up. So oftentimes we find homes that have been not, the assessment hasn't been keeping pace with it. And so the assessors have been going around since about 2017 and have been reassessing properties. Typically, they do it when it sells. So a lot of times when a new buyer goes in, they will see a tax at or assessed value at one particular thing. And then when it sells and it sells at a higher price, then it will adjust and the taxes will adjust. So that's just something to pay attention to if you're a complete newbie. Don't be surprised if that ends up happening to you, because it is something that does happen.
So that's what you want to look at when you're looking and considering homes, whether to buy them. There's not going to be a single property that is perfect. Everything is going to require some work, require some money. The question becomes of how much money can it bring in and how much money is it going to cost me. That's it. As long as you can figure out the math, then everything else is pretty darn simple. I hope this was helpful to you. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.